Burgundy Ballers, welcome back to another episode of the Ballin and Burgundy podcast. Yeah, I got a brand new setup. You feel me? I got the lights, I got the microphone, I got the headphones, and I got my boy Chris on tonight. What's up, my boy?
Nothing really, just hanging out, playing some Madden NFL. Waiting for Sunday's game, like
Waiting for
always.
Cindy. Well, as we record, we are watching another Washington team play. We're watching the Washington Huskies take on the Oregon Ducks in the Pac-12 championship. It is 20-10 halftime, and they are looking mighty fine. I had Penix as my Heisman Trophy winner, although he might not win thanks to Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix. We're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about our Washington Commanders. Repping Jonathan Allen, you feel me? As Cody Rich would say, do you feel him, sir? You feel me? You feel me? Justin is out working. Andrew's working on some school stuff, so prayers out to them and hope everything gets done accordingly and swimmingly. But first, I want to talk about these head coach rumors, all right? For those who follow Ian Rappaport, Mr. Justina Anderson, Bleacher Report, Pierre King, Sports Illustrated, you know that there are two big names thrown around the Panthers, the Bears, and the Commanders head coach spots. That is Lions OC Ben Johnson. That is Bill Belichick, the Sith Lord. And that is Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh. Now, Harbaugh is more connected to the Bears than anything else, and Ben Johnson is more connected to the Panthers, considering he declined a second interview with Carolina before they hired Frank Reich. But considering the Commanders will have five top 100 picks, hell, you'll have three inside the top 40. You'll have 90 mil in cap space. If you release a few guys, you can make it 100. You'll have a head coach, a defensive coordinator, a defensive backs coach, a new GM, possibly a new offensive coordinator. You're going to have a lot to go with in Washington and new ownership as well. That's going to be aggressive and is going to want to play hard and win fast and win accordingly. I think it's their biggest spot. What's your thoughts on all the names floating around the head coach rumor tree?
I honestly think for Washington, like for this team, I think it's best, and in my opinion, I think it's best if we go with Jim Harbaugh. I honestly think that because if you look what he did out in San Francisco those years, San Francisco was not that good. Alex Smith was not that good. And what did he do? He turned that team around. He did. He took them to an NFC championship, a Super Bowl, and an NFC championship. So the guys had success in the league. He should have won that Super Bowl against the Ravens, even though you could say there was some controversy about the power outage, but that's for a different time, different place.
Another story.
But I mean, I feel like if he came to Washington with the pieces we already have, that being Terry, Jahan, maybe Curtis Samuel if we were to re-sign him, Sam Howell, Brian Robinson, maybe Antonio Gibson. I think if we were to bring him in, I think he could turn it around. He would build up that offensive line. And not only that, he can build up a defense.
Yeah.
And he was a quarterback in the NFL when he played for the Colts. So, I mean, to bring him in to Washington, I think would be a good idea. Ben Johnson, I wouldn't mind, because look what he's doing in Detroit right now. He's got that offense going.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, I do not want here. Yes, he is a defensive-minded coach. Yes, he has 6 Super Bowls. But let's be real. Those 6 Super Bowls, he didn't win. Tom Brady won those 6 Super Bowls for the Patriots. He can build a defense. I think New England is maybe top 15, top 10 right now in the league with their defense.
Something like that.
So he can build a defense. The problem is, I feel like if he were to come here, I feel like he would ruin Sam Howell, you know? Like
Possibly.
somewhat. Plus, now don't get me wrong. What you could do if you were to bring in Belichick is okay, cool. You could bring him as a head coach, but you got to keep Eric Bieniemy as your offensive coordinator. Let him run the offense and let Belichick call the defensive plays, like Ron Rivera is going to do for the rest of the season, pretty much. But other than that, I do not want Bill Belichick here. Plus, I'm pretty sure like he would spend like our top five or our 5 draft picks in the top 100 on like stuff we kind of don't need, like a lawn snapper or something like that.
Yeah, please, no more long snappers. Please, 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 no more long snappers.
Yeah, I can't take that anymore.
No, no, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harbaugh wouldn't be a bad choice right now. Considering how well Michigan is playing with or without him. I believe right now they are I think they're number 2 ranked in all of college football, and they have the number 2 ranked defense in all of college football. Only laid up like 250 yards per game for a college defense. The best defense right now is Penn State, but it's fairly close with Michigan right now. Harbaugh's not bad. I think it's gonna be age and contract. I don't think now if he gets suspended, let's say a few more games in Michigan, then maybe you could swindle him into Washington, but I don't think so. And he's getting a damn good paycheck. I think he's making like 10 or 15 mil a year in Michigan.
Damn.
I don't know what the numbers are, and I'll look that up real quick, but I don't know if he's making Jim Harbaugh salary. Because I
Well,
remember let's see, back in October, he signed a so back in October, he signed a 5-year,
oh,
5-year, 36 point mil contract. But remember, they took that away because of the investigations
oh,
with Michigan. So I don't know what his current paycheck is. It's probably topped around 7 to $10 million a year. So my 10 to 15 was a bit off. But he's still
yeah,
making crazy bank as a college coach with a damn good team. Like I said, number 2 ranked in all of college football, and I think they play number 3 Washington when the college, because I think it goes 1, 4, 2, 3 if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken. And the number 2 ranked overall defense in all of college football. So he can
yeah,
coach up a defense. It's going to be the offensive line that I'm worried about, and age.
yeah.
Age is a major concern for me.
No, it most definitely is. I think if he were to come in here, I think he would look at it and be like, all right, look, I'm fixing the offensive line, I'm fixing the linebackers, and I'm gonna fix the secondary a little bit too. Which is fair, because
Fair.
our secondary needs some work. Um I but let's be real. If we don't get Jim Harbaugh, if we don't get Bill Belichick, and if we don't get Ben Johnson, we're gonna promote Eric Bieniemy as our next head coach here in Washington.
If the GM they hire wants Airbnb, Jim Harbaugh. When I go back to age real quick, Jim Harbaugh is currently 59 years old. He will turn 60 on December 23rd.
Oh well.
So we would hire him as a 60-year-old. Remember, I believe it's Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick they're in their late 60s to early 70s.
Hey, Pete Carroll out here in training camp throwing passes to his
Yeah. Pete Carroll out here busting moves. But I don't want him. But no, there are other names out there, other coordinators, and shout out the 33rd team on Instagram. I love watching their content. Got, like I said, Ben Johnson and Jim Harbaugh. But the other coordinators like Brian Johnson, the Eagles offensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, the Ravens DC, Todd Monken, the Ravens offensive coordinator, who was Georgia's the past few seasons, but since they're back-to-back national champions. Dan Quinn, Dallas's defensive coordinator, and Bob Slowick, the Texans OC. I don't see it. Good.
I was gonna say, hey, Dan Quinn, look what he doing in Dallas, man. He coaching up that defense.
Yeah, DeRon Bland now has 8 picks on the year and 6 pick sixes. He's the first player in NFL history to ever do so in a single season.
If we were to snag Dan Quinn here as a maybe a head coach, I would take it.
I would take it, but I need an offensive minded head coach. I can't do another defensive minded. I need offensive first. Because we had a top defense in 2020, and then it all just went downhill from there.
We had a top defense.
Yep.
Went down. Had a top defense again in 2022.
Down.
And then it went up.
Yep. So I need offensive minded because you can hire some of these defensive coordinators and they will do magic. I would actually look more towards college. Like I said, you bring in the Michigan defensive coordinator, the Penn State defensive coordinator, the Air Force defensive coordinator, guys like that who are shown, yes, it's college, but the transfer portal literally opens up every year, and you have guys come in and out of schools like their name's Riley Reid and Mia Khalifa.
That's crazy.
Like, it's crazy, but it's wild. I mean, you've already had guys. I mean, you've already had like Oregon State quarterback DJ Uungalungale, how do you say his name, enter the transfer portal. You've had like 5 guys from ODU enter the transfer portal. Like, it's crazy. So I would go towards college. He has a more structured job. He could last 2 to 3 seasons depending on how well this team does. He could say, okay, I like Kendall Fuller, I like Forrest, I like Curl, I like Forbes, and he could describe everyone else. Say, let's start. He could do that. If he came in and says, I want to keep 5 pieces on defense. PAYNE, Allen, KJ Henry, Curl, and Forrest, and the rest have got to go. Okay, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna use some talent in the draft, and you're definitely gonna sign some guys in the offseason. But yeah, as long as we get a coach that is more competent and smart and knows how to construct this team well, I think we're fine. As long as we keep the offensive line solid, young with veterans sprinkled in, I think we're good. But the draft is going to be one thing, but we got to get a head coach in here before anything else.
Facts.
Before anything else. I want younger. I would love if we somehow got Ben Johnson, Beck Slowick, guys like that. Because the Lions have a top offense in this league, and Slowick is making CJ Stroud look like an MVP candidate as a rookie.
I ate my words on him.
You did eat your words. You're like, man, CJ Stroud ain't gonna be shit. Man, the Texans ain't gonna be shit. The Texans are 6-5. Stroud's having MVP type numbers. He's in the MVP conversation. He's easily won Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh yeah.
If he somehow goes on like a 6-game skid, I still think he makes it in the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Without a question. I think either Jalen Carter or Devin Witherspoon win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't think anybody else really gets that.
Yeah.
It probably goes to Jalen Carter.
Yeah. No, I did eat my words on him.
You did?
I thought it was going to be Anthony Richardson rookie.
Hey, Anthony Richardson looked promising if he had learned how to slide correctly.
Oh, so he RG3 2.0 then? Okay.
Shit. He lasted like the first 5 games of the season. He's gone for the rest of the year.
Damn.
It is what it is, though. But yeah, like Ben Johnson, like according to Josina Anderson, that Ben Johnson is currently expected to receive interest from the Panthers, considering he had a former interview that he declined. Harbaugh is more connected to the Bears, and even Peter King from a Bleacher Report is even curious and wonders if the Raiders or us will even take the headache known as Jim Harbaugh. It's an interesting conversation. I'm somewhat in the middle. You could say I'm bi on this conversation. Like, I could see it both ways. Would he be coming great? Yes, but he's more defensive minded than he really is offensive minded.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
need more offense.
Yeah. Honestly, I just say keep Eric Bieniemy, dude. If we can't get any of those guys, I'd keep Eric Bieniemy. I can give two damns on what the players say about him. I mean, yeah, it's gonna create a bad environment, maybe. But guess what? Look at our play. Here's an interesting thing, right? You look at the league 30 years ago. Yes, that was a different era.
We weren't even alive.
We weren't alive. But guess what? If you go back and look at them highlights, those players had heart to play the game.
You don't even go back 30. You don't even go back 30 years. Go back pre 2010.
Yeah. Yeah, go back pre 2010. Yeah. You look at the players nowadays, they don't care. They just want that paycheck. They could care less if they, go 5-12. As long as they're getting paid, they're getting paid. They don't care.
That's how some of them do look at it. Like, I mean, if you look at the stats, being like, oh man, these players played great for their extensions. John Allen, Terry McLaurin, Deron Payne, for example, man, they were killers before the contract. They get the contract extension, nowhere to be found on the stat sheet.
Yeah.
Deron Payne only has like 2.5 sacks on the year right now.
What the?
I think he's only on pace for like 6, if that.
Yeah, he should have.
It's crazy.
Mm.
But what were they gonna do? Try to rush back Phil Mathis?
No, you couldn't. You really couldn't, to be honest.
And then if you franchise tag Deron Payne, there's 25 mil right there.
And thank God we re-signed him in the offseason. But he hasn't done nothing, though.
But now there's a defense, though.
Yeah.
Like, but Sweat had 5.5 sacks. But Chase Young had 5.
Were we winning games?
No.
No.
But you guys beat the Cardinals. You guys beat the Broncos. You kept it close against Philly. You beat the New England. And Arizona poverty. The Broncos started the year like 1-5. The Patriots, they're gonna have a top 3 draft pick and probably take Drake May or Caleb Williams.
Yeah, they'll take Caleb Williams, I think. Washington has beaten some poverty teams.
Yep.
Other than Denver, who's turned it around this year.
Yep.
Like, look at the teams Washington has beaten. Arizona. We would have lost that game if they had Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Denver. Yeah, we made a 21-3 comeback, but guess what? They weren't looking so hot at the beginning of the year.
Nope.
New England. Pretty sure they're going to be picking top 5.
Yep.
In Atlanta?
Top 10 pick again.
Yeah. And the only reason Atlanta wouldn't be a top 10 pick is because of their division and how trash it is.
Yep.
So, I mean, Washington really hasn't done anything. Yeah, they've hung in there with Philly. They should have won both those games.
We should have won one of those games. I think we could have split one of the Philly games and been just fine.
Yeah, you could have. But I mean, with how good they looked, they were playing against Philly, they could have easily won both those games.
Yep.
I mean, we're going to be talking about this pretty much all off season long. Well, we should have won this game. We should have won that game.
Yep.
Had we, won those games, would we be in the playoffs, I mean, yeah, we're still somehow alive at 4-8, but let's be real. We're going 6-11, 7-10 here.
7-10 at our ceiling.
Yeah.
At our very ceiling.
And I think me and you predicted them to go 10-7.
I think I said 10 or 7 or 9 or 8, but yeah.
Yeah.
Expected so much more.
Yeah, we expected so much more, and I think that's because we hired Eric Bieniemy last offseason, and everybody has their opinion on him. I like him. I don't know, what your opinion is, or what Rio's opinion is, because I know everybody still might be a little skeptical.
They're all different.
Of Eric Bieniemy right now, but I mean, let's be real. He, I don't think he's done a bad job here in Washington.
I don't think he's done bad, but it's not what we expected.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna keep it brief because I'm gonna have a lot to say during the bye week. And y'all are gonna want to stay tuned. We've got big things coming up during the bye week and after the bye week. So stay tuned. Don't forget, like and subscribe here on the video. Head over to Instagram, go follow us over there. Head over to TikTok, follow us over there. We might even make a Twitter here in a little bit. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this short because I'll have a lot more to say during the next few weeks. Actually, there's so much more out of Bieniemy. No one could have anticipated how horrific and historically bad this offensive line was going to be. No one could have predicted it.
No,
we could have said give it up 30 sacks, 35 sacks. Cool. Because they gave up, I think, a total of 45 last season between Heineke, Howell, and Wentz. I think Wentz had 26. I think Taylor had 23 or at 13, and I think Sam had 3. So 30, like 43 right there.
Yeah.
He is sitting at 55. It is week 12. He is sitting at 55. He is averaging like 4.5 to 5 sacks a game.
I will say this. What was it like back at week 7 or 8? How many sacks were they at? Like 40?
Something like that. And there goes his phone.
Yeah, there goes my phone. That's crazy. Thank God it didn't kick me out though. I mean, yeah, he was around 40 sacks then. To somewhat ever since we added Tyler Larsen,
and we added and who did we put at guard? I think that made the difference.
It's not Cosme. It's
Stromberg's injured.
Isn't it Cornelius Lucas?
I think it's Cornelius Lucas. No. I think so. Actually, yeah. I think it is.
I think it was Cornelius Lucas. But no, I mean, ever since then, I feel a little bit better with the offensive line. Yes, the sacks have still been an issue, but they weren't much as an issue as they were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Take that back. My correction was Chris Paul.
Okay.
Chris Paul, left guard.
Okay. He hasn't looked too bad, I feel like.
Hasn't looked too bad, but we expected so much more coming into this season out of the offense and the offensive line. Man, we got to protect Sam. This new offensive scheme is going to light up the scoreboards. Not really.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing it's done is have Sam Howell leading the league in passing yards. But
yards, completions, and tied 6th with touchdowns. He's I think at 18.
Yeah. But even Sam Howell said it himself. He was like, it doesn't matter what I have for stats. He said it. He said it doesn't matter. He said if we're not winning games, then what's the big deal about it? And he's honestly right. I've always said that about other teams. It doesn't matter what the stats are unless you are winning.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, look at Kansas City. Look at Dak Prescott right now. I'll even say it. Dak Prescott, I didn't want to believe it till I saw it last night, but Dak Prescott is playing MVP caliber football right now.
It's hard to admit it, but the Cowboys are looking like a top. A top 2 team in the NFC right now. Hell, even top. You can make a case for the top team in the NFC right now. Yeah. But Dak Prescott is playing MVP numbers, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I mean, now is he going to get MVP?
No,
Probably not, because they're probably going to give it to the face of the league, Pat
it'll be
Mahomes.
it'll be Mahomes, Lamar, or Jalen.
Yeah,
Hell,
because we
hell,
know
hell. Tyreek Hill might win it.
or
If
CMC.
if Tyreek breaks 2,000 yards, he might get it.
He might. He might. But I mean, yeah, I mean, look at all these teams. All these teams are winning, and and look at their stats. I mean, yeah, it's not lighting up the world, but they're doing enough to win.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of winning, let's segue this into our thoughts going into Sunday. Miami Dolphins travel to FedEx Field to the nation's capital to face our 4-8 Washington Commanders. They are 8-3. It is a 1:00 game this Sunday, December 3rd. Like I said, at home. Tua, TYREEK Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mosert, Devon ACHANE will return to the field against the Commanders. That's per Mike McDaniels, per Ian Rappaport, right? On the defense, Jalen Ramsey, you have Xavier Howard, you have Christian Wilkins, Jalen Phillips. Rest soon, brother. You are an amazing, amazing talent there for Miami, number 15 for you guys. He is an absolute dog. Prayers out for that, brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're looking good. 8-3. Tua was playing well. Like, he turned the ball over a few times, but it is what it is. Emmanuel Forbes will not play. He is out with that elbow injury still. Ron Rivera is a little optimistic, saying he should be able to play the rest of the season. I would just keep him on IR the rest of the year. It's your elbow. You fall on it almost every play. If you fall down, you're falling on your elbow.
Yep.
James Smith-Williams, he's out with that hamstring. He didn't practice at all. Neither did Forbes. And then Tyler Lawson is questionable with a knee. So it is what it is. But for the Dolphins, Teron Armstead is questionable. Chris Brooks is questionable. Lester Colton's questionable. Javon Holland is questionable. Robert Jones is questionable. And Kendall Lamb is questionable.
I think TYREEK might even be questionable. I think.
Nope. Tyreek was limited on Friday, but he will play on Sunday. That is per the injury report.
Look, if we're being real, the only way Washington somehow wins this game, and I pray this doesn't happen because I don't like seeing players getting hurt.
No.
But the only way Washington wins this game is if somehow Tua were to get hurt.
Tua or Tyreek?
Yeah.
Or both.
Or both. And I don't like praying that on people. No. I don't, because that's not my game. But that's the only way Washington somehow pulls off an upset.
Yeah.
Unless we treat this game like the Tampa Bay game from a couple years back, or we treat it
like the Philly games.
Like the Philly games. But other than that, and you guys, and yes, I'm saying this, and I'll still end up picking us to win, which I always do.
You do.
But that's the way I just kind of see it. And plus, it's supposed to be raining. So
yeah,
and you take the ball out of the air. They still got a nice running back system. Our running defense is some trash. Yeah, it's just not gonna be. If I'm being honest, man, the only way we win this is like if we get a late interception to maybe get a game-winning field goal.
Late? We need picks regardless. We need sacks and interceptions.
We need a lot.
We need a lot. All right. I need 3, 4, 5. If we can have a 9-sack game on Tua, we need to win. We need to have multiple turnovers by them, not us, them. All right.
Yeah.
We can't go out and throw 3 interceptions, have 3 fumbles, have a pick. We can't have this. All right.
Nope.
You guys just had like 10 days off from 10 days.
Yeah.
Something like 10 days. You had another bye week. You had a bye week before this game, and you're gonna have a bye week after this game. You better rest it up. You better change the offensive scheme, and you need to go out and win. Now, Andrew and Justin sent me over their score predictions before we recorded. Andrew has the Miami Dolphins winning 54-24, a 30-point loss. All right. Gonna have us looking like we played the Bears or the Cowboys, stuff like that. All right. And Justin has Miami also winning 30-17. So a 13-point loss, a 2-score loss. What are your thoughts? Because I know you're gonna choose us, but I don't know what I'm gonna choose. I need you to go to first.
Let's see. You guys already know where I'm going. I'm going with the Redskins. I'm going with the Redskins. Oh man. I'm gonna say.
Come on now.
I'm gonna say 31-28 game-winning field goal.
Yeah, it sounded like me. Man, you could you imagine? How did y'all beat the Dolphins? Y'all couldn't beat Dallas, Philly, the Giants, Seattle, the Bears, but you beat the Dolphins? What's wrong with y'all? Wrong with y'all?
That's who.
Just y'all are crazy. Oh man.
Who are you going with?
Where do you think you're going? I want to have faith in our Commanders. All right, I come repping the John Allen jersey. I got the Terry jersey sitting in the back. I got the Chase Young jersey sitting in the back. I got the Cousins jersey sitting in the back. I just don't think we do this, especially with Ron calling the defensive plays for the first time in 4 years, and the offense coming off, and the offense coming off an absolute stinker in Dallas. I don't have much faith, if at all. I'm gonna go Miami wins. I gotta do it. I have to do it. I would rather no, I take that back.
And let me
go ahead.
Let me just say this. And I'm pretty sure you saw the post I made on Instagram earlier with the Sam Howell picture. Look, I don't care if we're 4-8 and everybody wants us to lose just to get a higher draft pick. Let's be real, all right? What is a higher? Yes, a higher draft pick kind of gets us a better player, but I'm not voting for my team to lose. That's not just gonna happen. Like,
see, you're saying like I know we're probably gonna lose this game.
Yeah.
This is the top offense in the league. We are probably gonna lose this game. And like I just said, I have very small faith left in this team. But I've got to have some faith.
Yeah.
I've got to have some of your optimism. I've got to have it. With my score prediction, I'm gonna go 28-27 us.
Damn.
I think the Dolphins go for a 2-point conversion and they don't get it.
Damn.
I think that's what happens.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I think that's what happens.
Damn. Now,
but yeah,
we are sitting at 4-8.
Yep.
And let's say we have an upset when, let's say we somehow pull it off, right? And yes, we have the bye week coming up. But do you think this sparks anything for maybe somehow a late run for it? Like,
the only games I could see as having a chance in winning is and I'll pull it up, is the Rams in week 15 and the Jets week 16. The only games I see us winning are those 2 games. The only ones. I think we could easily go on a 5-game losing streak. It goes Miami, bye week, Rams, Jets, Niners, Dallas. I think it's a guarantee we lose those last 2.
Depend that last game, I'm pretty sure Dallas is going to be in the playoffs, so they'll be, I think, resting their starters.
They're going to be in the playoffs, but they're not going to win the division.
That's true.
It'll be Philly's division to win, so they need to keep. If Dallas plays their starters, they are competing for the 5 or the 6 seed.
Yeah,
they're not resting their starters. They didn't last year, and they made the playoffs.
Yeah,
they lost and still made the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's because they were already in.
They were already in, but they didn't rest their starters. They had Micah, they had Dak, they had CD, they had
Well, and it's not only that. They were playing for a division title still, and the 1 seed.
That's true.
At that point last year. So, do I think it's going to happen this year?
It's possible.
It's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen unless they beat Philly next Sunday night in Dallas, which I don't think is going to happen because other than Seattle, they have not beat a winning team. And Seattle, 6-5 is a winning record, but at the same time, that's also kind of like a 500 team you're kind of playing.
Yeah, and Seattle kind of choked that game to regardless.
Yeah. Like that final play last night, Micah Parsons blew that up.
Yep.
Because there was, no assignment. I mean, there was an assignment on him, but
not really
picked it up.
Yep.
Nobody picked up on the blitz.
Yeah. I mean, right now we have a top 5 draft pick. That'll obviously change. That will change this weekend. Whether we go up or down will change this weekend. And we will have lots to say going into the bye week, whether it's thoughts on Bieniemy, whether it's what we think of the draft, like all of that.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of talk about, do we take Marvin Harrison Jr.? Do we take Joe Alt? Do we take Fuaga? Do we take Brock Bowers?
My pick is Bowers.
Or do we take Olufoshanu? Like, there is a lot to talk about, but that won't be talked about until the bye week next week, and especially how we look going into the draft during the bye week. But yeah, just to recap, Andrew's got 54-24 Miami. Justin's got 30-17 Miami. Chris, you have been the optimistic one, going 31-28 Washington. And I reluctantly have us winning 28-27, having us go to 5-8 going into the bye week.
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be real interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Real interesting. But, yeah, it is what it is. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe here on the video and here on the channel. Like I said, head over to Instagram. Go like and subscribe and follow us over there. Head over to TikTok. Go follow us over there. We're doing some amazing content. We've got some crazy content coming the next few weeks, whether it's guests, topics, mock drafts, the whole 9. We got a lot coming your way. So you're going to want to stay tuned. Like I said, hit like and subscribe here on the channel. Hit that little notification bell to let you know every time we upload. And we're going to have some amazing stuff coming your way. Chris, anything else you want to add?
Let's just go get a victory this weekend.
Yeah, I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. But yeah, like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe. Hail those Commanders, and don't forget to stay balling. We'll see y'all out there.